Have you ever tried making your own faceting laps? Well, here's my experience with some that I have done. This is a piece of Korean countertop material, and I cut it out on my bandsaw and then put it on my lathe and trued it up, and then I recessed the inside of the lap, and I concaved in here at the center and also in the back side here. I put these little holes in here so when I pour my casting resin in, should it ever turn loose, it couldn't come out because of the concave here and here, and also it couldn't spin because the plastic would also go down in these little recess ports I made. But when I do this casting, I take these, this is the small size that I do here, and this is a larger size. I go all the way up to 8-inch, but I think this is probably only about a 7. Anyway, I take some masking tape and tape the outside so when I pour my casting resin in, I can come up above the level of the outside here. Here's an example of that. Now this one here, see, I got it marked here. This one here is cerium oxide, and the resin goes all the way to this point that I've marked here. So this is a lamp you would never wear out. And with cerium oxide, it's good for a lot of the softer stones, and I have even done quartz on it. It's a little slower with quartz with the cerium oxide. I have also done it out of aluminum oxide, and it's a little different. It's just a different colored material that I cut out on the lathe, but it works good on quartz and stuff like that. But in order to do something like this, you have to have access to a lathe, and you need some casting resin. This is a clear polymer casting resin, and that's what I've been using to make the laps that I make. And you will also need some catalyst in order to make the plastic harden. This is a liquid. Well, they're both liquids, but you need this to make that harden. And what I do, I take this about, I think it's about an 8 ounce cup, and I pour it pretty much nearly full, and then I take my cerium oxide or aluminum oxide, and then I mix it in the plastic. Just as long as it will keep accepting the oxide, I will mix it until it nearly becomes a putty, and then I pour it into the lap. I cover up the hole here so it don't mess that up. I cover up the hole, and I pour it in and let it harden for, sometimes it takes a couple of weeks to really get good and hard. Then I put it back on my lathe, and I face the top of it again, just like right here. I resurface it again. Now on the big laps, that same amount that I use on the little laps will come to just above these, and then when you resurface it, takes it down. But still, you've got probably over 1/4 of an inch of actual polishing surface underneath here. And let's see, that's about all I can think of here. Anyway, if you once this material has hardened, I turn it on the lathe, and I have to turn it around here to drill the hole back out to the upper side of the resin, and then I resurface the lap with my lathe, and they seem to work real good. I don't do this commercially. I just do it for my shop here for my students, and usually if I have some extra laps made up, I'll sell them to the students for the amount of money I got in product to make them. And that's how it's done. Thank you.